Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Witness and I'm your host, Quatrina Hossain. Well, this weekend has certainly been, in what many people are saying, a turning point in Pakistani politics. Rally upon rally, it was a showdown, a major, big, heavy-duty presence being demonstrated by different political parties. Let's take a look at what was happening. First of all, we had the PML-N and Chief Minister Shehbaz Sharif going aggressively against President Zardari and the Pakistan People's Party. And then followed by, 2 days later, rather yesterday, of course, was the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's big show at the Minar-e-Pakistan in Lahore. Definitely took political pundits by surprise. Everybody was taken back at the amount of people that turned up for what is being dubbed as the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's coming of age. 15 years since the launch of Tehreek-e-Insaf, and Imran Khan pulls off a rally in Lahore that few anticipated or predicted. We won't get into the numbers game here. We will not talk about how many thousands of people attended the PML-N rally, how many thousands of people attended Imran Khan's rally, nor will we talk about the thousands of people who turned up in Karachi after the MQM called a rally in support of President Zardari, after the diatribe launched by Shehbaz Sharif in Lahore a couple of days earlier. So what do all these rallies really mean? We are going to be talking about these rallies, what they mean. Most importantly, we will also be talking about Tehreek-e-Insaf. Has it finally emerged as the third most powerful force in this country? That is what people had predicted way back in 1997. It didn't happen then. Is Imran Khan's rally now the indicator of a change in Pakistani politics? And most importantly, Imran Khan's last words when he was finishing his rally, he said, "Change isn't coming, change is here." Well, is change here? It was definitely a muted kind of rally that Imran Khan held. It was almost like an election rally where he laid out points on foreign policy, on his manifesto, in effect. The PML-N, on the other hand, was being very aggressive, single-point agenda. They demanded that the president must resign. The Pakistan People's Party, however, is in an enviable position. They have the numbers in parliament. They're not demonstrating their numbers on the streets, but they have the numbers in parliament. So which numbers count more? That's what we're going to talk about today. What's in store for future politics in Pakistan? Definitely tumultuous weekend. Allow me to introduce my guest. My first guest here in the Islamabad studio is Mr. Raoof Hassan. He's the Central Vice President of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and he's also a political analyst as well. Joining me from Gujranwala is going to be Engineer Khurram Dastagir Khan, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the Pakistan Muslim League N, and he is also an MNA representing his party in the National Assembly. And Secretary Information, Khurram Dastagir Khan, Deputy Secretary Information, Pakistan Muslim League N. And joining me from Karachi is going to be Pakistan People's Party's Sharmila Farooqi. I thank you all for joining me today on what I think is, in my personal opinion, possibly a turning point in Pakistani politics. But I've been known to be wrong before, so let's find out. And I will begin with Mr. Hassan. Mr. Hassan, yesterday's rally took all of us by surprise. But I sort of got the sense when I was looking at Imran Khan that it took him by surprise as well.
Well, not really. I think we were expecting a lot of people. It didn't really take us by surprise, but we were definitely taken in by the level of enthusiasm and the cross-section of people that the rally represented. Okay. You know, there were people who came from all over the country, but most of them came from Lahore, and they represented practically all tiers of society, from the rich to the poor, and that was very interesting. And I must say that I think this enthusiastic collection of people, you know, was a unanimous verdict against the status quo. Okay. And against all that the status quo represents. This represents...
Mr. Hassan, tell me something. In Pakistani politics, it is traditional to lambast your political opponents at rallies of this nature. And as did Mr. Shehbaz Sharif in his rally in Lahore 2 days earlier. But I found that Mr. Khan was quite muted in his speech. He did not name names per se. He did not demand that people resign or go. He said, "I'm giving you a few months, declare your assets." A very muted speech. Was there any particular reason for that?
Well, I don't think it was muted. Basically, I think he presented his party's agenda for the future, his party's agenda for change. And we believe in the party that corruption is the principal ailment that this society suffers from, and that has led to so much else which has gone wrong in this country. And consequently, our major struggle has been against elimination of corruption.
Okay.
And that is what he said, that declare your assets, and by assets, declaring asset, it does not just mean the assets which have been declared, but that is just possibly 1% of these people's assets, you know.
You mean
the
declare
leading
hidden
political parties.
assets?
Yeah, he wants the hidden assets to be declared, and I have with me documents showing so much which belongs to the names of the two leading political parties' heads, which nobody knows about, and that is the money which has been looted from this country and taken out of here. Imran Khan wants all these assets declared before the people of this country, and not only that, he wants these assets to be brought back into Pakistan and to be spent for the welfare of the people of this country.
If they are illegally obtained.
Yes, if they are illegally obtained. And we understand that they have all been illegally obtained.
You understand that they're all illegally
Why?
obtained.
Otherwise, they should have been declared as part of the assets of these leaders.
Okay. Let's go on now over to Lahore. Gujranwala, excuse me, where I'm joined by Khurram Dastagir Khan. Mr. Khan, your party's leader, Shehbaz Sharif, made a very aggressive speech which has been very hostile, received a very hostile reaction from the Pakistan People's Party as other coalition partners. What is the PML-N's reaction, first of all, to the Tehreek-e-Insaf's rally? We do understand that while no effort was made to facilitate it, no efforts are made to stop it. That's good to hear. But first of all, did it take you by surprise?
No, I think PML-N's view on the subject is that we appreciate it as a positive development that the elite, the gentry, the upper middle classes of Lahore have shown signs of political awareness. I think it's good for the country. It's a free country. It's a democracy. Everyone has the right to express their opinion. But all this talk of winds of change, to me, the winds of change smell of stale political leftovers, like Mia Azhar, who was, of course, the founding president of PMLQ, one of the first pawns that Pervez Musharraf put forward against PML-N to break up PML-N. So if people like him are there, and I think we all the talk, and you know, if you think that Sadi Wari Andeo is a winds of change, it's a paradigm shift, it is, I think, incorrect, and much is yet to be seen. As far as the corruption issue is concerned, I think the assets issue, first of all, yes, there are allegations against my party's leadership. Mr. Raoof Hassan has lots of papers in his hand. But the fact is that Mia Nawaz Sharif has never once been accused of looting the public exchequer. All the allegations, whatever their correctness or wrong nature, are regarding his business enterprises, which of course are taxation issues, are the assets issues, the loans issues, but not a single penny of public exchequer. No allegation is there. Pervez Musharraf's government tried its best, couldn't do anything about it. So we are coming with clean hands. Shehbaz Sharif has run a very clean government in Punjab. You can criticize its performance, but as far as the ethical issue is concerned of looting public exchequer, it's simply not there when it comes to Shehbaz Sharif in the last 3.5 years. And of course, the assets issue that's been demanded, our leaders, I think, has been reported earlier, have said that they did declare their assets at the time of 2007 general election. They have been declaring their assets. Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, of course, is bound by law to declare his assets each year. So if there are questions about the declaration of assets, of course, any citizen of Pakistan has the right to question them. But it's not a fact that our leaders have somehow been, I think it's been insinuated, that have been sort of concealing their assets. The law is very clear. They have declared their assets time and again.
I have to mention here is that while Shehbaz Sharif's speech was very targeted, very directed against President Zardari and what he called his coterie, very importantly, not any aggression against Imran Khan, which we had been seeing earlier, the PML-N, PTI, aggression against each other, which was almost being reduced to a battle over Lahore. Mr. Shehbaz Sharif didn't talk about Imran Khan by name. Imran Khan didn't talk about Shehbaz Sharif by name.
You're exactly right. Lahore is one city. And yes, there is a local clash, but PML-N has the national horizon in its view. And we believe that the coterie around the president and the president himself have now become a hurdle in Pakistan's progress towards a prosperous constitutional democracy, because what we are seeing is an illiberal democracy. And what Mr. Shehbaz Sharif was expressing in that rally is the voice of the Pakistanis whose backs are broken by inflation, are the voices of laborers who are unemployed because of load shedding.
I need to now get a response.
Let me finish. It's the voice of people who are submerged in flood waters in sin. It's the voice of people who are victims of target killing in Karachi, in Quetta, and missing persons in Balochistan. So the voices of these people, the anger and rage of these people is directed against Mr. Zardari, who is not only the president but the chairperson of the ruling party, and it is him that we believe is currently the principal hurdle in Pakistan's future progress.
Okay. Sharmila Farooqi, you heard what Mr. Raoof Hassan had to say, you heard what Mr. Khurram Dastagir had to say. A lot of allegations coming your way, your party's way, yet with your coalition partners, you threw a pretty big rally of your own yesterday in Karachi. The interesting point, of course, is that the rally was called by your coalition partner, the MQM. The PPP has not demonstrated its electoral or street strength at this point. But at some point, you will have to respond to these allegations now, won't you?
Thank you, Quatrina. To start with, I think we have been responding to all these allegations for the last 4 years, and even so before that. Coming to the rally of the Muttahida Qawmi movement yesterday, and the question that why has the People's Party not responded appropriately. As you know, Quatrina, Nusrat Bhutto Sahiba has expired, and the Pakistan People's Party is in mourning. Once our mourning is over, we will definitely reply back in not in the same tone, tenor and language which is objectionable. We do not contend the fact that Mr. Sharif criticizes President Zardari or President Gilani. He can do so, he can criticize whoever he feels he wants to do, but the only objection that the Pakistan People's Party has raised is the kind of language that has been used for the highest constitutional office and for the President of Pakistan. Now, coming to the Tehreek-e-Insaf rally the other day, well, I must comment, it was an impressive show. And I must comment that I thoroughly enjoyed the concert, and a lot of my friends definitely went over there just to watch Shehzad Royal live, just to watch Shah Zaman live, and a lot of people from my party also went there just to scorn at Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, because the language that he used 2 days earlier against the president was deplorable, and I'm sure Mr. Dastagir sitting over here would want to agree with me, though he may not be very vocal about it. But another thing,
Ms. Farooqi, there's one point that I would like to raise with you over here right away. First of all, I don't know about the rest of Pakistan, but Shehbaz Sharif sang at his rally. Mr. Altaf Hussain sang at his press conference. I think I was quite happy not to see Mr. Imran Khan sing and have some professional singers there in his place. But seriously, do you think that it is politically astute to dismiss Imran Khan by simply saying that his rally was a concert?
Absolutely not. I think Mr. Shehbaz Sharif chose to read out Habib Jalib's verse. The Muttahida Qaid, Mr. Altaf Hussain, responded back by giving his own little poem, which was very, very cute actually. But Imran Khan, of course, took the cake because he called professional singers, and that was very, very interesting. But coming back to, the rally of Mr. Imran Khan, there's one thing that I would like to ask Mr. Hassan is that Mr. Khan did not spell out any agenda. I mean, he's been talking about drone attacks for the last 2.5, 3 years. He's been talking about corruption for the last 4 years, or rather for the last 10 years. But how is he going to eradicate corruption altogether from Pakistan? We want to know that. Has he given us a roadmap? No. How is he going to stop the drone attacks? Is he going to go on war against the United States? He has to give us a roadmap. He has to give us a plan. Just merely saying so that, he's going to come to power.
Ms. Farooqi, I'm losing your voice here.
Yeah, I would like to...
Okay, I'm sorry, I've lost the signal to Karachi. We'll try and restore that as quickly as possible. But Mr. Hassan, of course, I have to admit that I'm grateful for small mercies. Mr. Imran Khan did not sing. I hope he never sings. I feel free to have him bowl a bouncer or two. But I think people should stick to what they're professionally adept at. Imran Khan laid out, in all fairness, He laid out his election manifesto, didn't he?
He did. But let me first respond to what Khurram Dastagir Saab said about the fact, that his leadership has not taken anything out of the national exchequer, while he conceded that there have been accusations, with regard to default in bank loans and so much else, which I can give a detail of. But let me just 3 or 4 examples I can give straight away. I would like to ask him. Mia Nawaz Sharif's political secretary, Asif Saeed Kermani, where is he drawing his salary from? Mr. Nawaz Sharif's photographer, Mr. Zulfikar Balti, where is he drawing his salary from? His cameraman, who works with him at his rival residence and office, where is he drawing his salary from? His secretary, who works with him at his rival residence, where is he drawing his salary from? All these salaries and more, I can name them, are coming from the provincial exchequer. They're being paid by the DGPR Punjab.
Okay.
And
I've heard this before.
Yeah.
It's not huge amounts involved, but it's a principle involved.
Yes, this is a drain on the provincial exchequer. So I totally disagree with them that his leadership is not a drain on the provincial exchequer.
We're not talking about corruption in the billions, but this is an ethical issue.
Right, this is an ethical issue. Basically, even if a penny is being diverted away from what should be spent in,
should he get Khurram to respond, Mr.
Well, yes, please do. But I would also like to respond to what Sharmila Farooqi Sahaba had to say about the fact, that Imran did not give his manifesto. Well, he did, and he has given an agenda. He was very categorical.
A manifesto, but he didn't say how he was going to do it.
Well, he was going to say, we believe that a thief would never catch a thief. And we believe that the entire political leadership of this country are a bunch of thieves. So when you have a person who's an honest man, he would be able to catch the thief. So that basically is the principal starting point. Okay. You have to be clean yourself, you have to be honest yourself.
But there was another point that Khurram Dastagir, let's get one more thing out of the way. Khurram Dastagir also made a very valid point. He said that Imran Khan's rally drew out people who are normally not the milieu of voters.
No, I would like to narrate an incident. A friend of mine called me from Lahore this morning, and I think it's very interesting. He said he is a non-PTI. He was not a PTI supporter till yesterday, but he has become a PTI supporter now. He said I took him about an hour and a half to get into the arena, and he said I was stationed there. He was standing there, and he said on my right was a gentleman, and I asked him where had he come from. This guy had come from Sawat, some far off place in Sawat. He did not have any money to travel to Lahore. He borrowed money, and then he somehow managed to get to Lahore. On his left was a girl who was studying at Lumps. At his back was Shahid Karda, the former governor of the state bank. He had come there with his family, and in front of him were 3 or 4 people who were in close proximity, and he could talk to them. They belonged to practically all stratas of society. It isn't just that they were the rich and the mighty over there. There were people who were very poor, there were people from the middle class, and there were people from the gifted classes.
Elite class.
Well, it was a wonderful mixture of all those people.
I want to return to this point again, of course, because that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has now entered the political mainstream with a bang. I mean, that after 15 years, this was the first big show. I want to go now to Gujranwala. Mr. Khurram Dastagir, Mr. Raoof Hassan makes a valid point. He questions, where does Mr. Asif Kermani get his money? The photographer, the TV cameraman, these are people whom I have seen run drive as well. Are they being paid from the Punjab Exchequer by the DGPR?
Yes, they are. And of course, the question is that it is fine for Punjab government to donate land for Shaukat Khana Memorial Hospital. It's fine for the then government of Punjab, which of course was PML-N. Let me finish. To give it first 200 million
to you. Where are
for
they
the
drawing
project.
The salaries, and you concede that they're drawing the salaries from DGPR.
Let's
this is totally unrelated, Khurram Saab. Let's stick to the point.
I'm asking if it's fine for the credit that you claim, and suddenly it is fine for government of Punjab to donate land free of cost. It is fine for government of Punjab public exchequer to donate 200 million rupees in 1992 rupees for a project which is now being claimed as a personal crime. That is fine, that is okay, but of course you are now coming up with all these accusations that are there.
I mean, this
Khurram Saab, in all honesty, the land for the hospital, I'm glad the Punjab government did it. It doesn't benefit Imran Khan so much as it benefits sick people. I mean, anybody who does good, right?
Who was asked if Saeed Kirmani benefiting or the other people benefiting?
It came out of public exchequer, and now that hospital is being used as a personal political tool. This is what I am objecting to.
No, not at all. That is totally false.
Has donated
totally
land.
false.
If Government of Punjab
I challenge you to prove it. I challenge you to prove it.
I might add that all these accusations against Mr. Sharif personally gave 3.5 million rupees from his own pocket to the hospital because he believed in the project. So the question is, that is okay, that is fine, that this money can come out, the land can come out, and now it can be used as a personal political tool, but of course the accusations will come anyway.
Okay, Mr. Khurram Dastagir, I do have a question though. This personal staff of Mr. Nawaz Sharif, or people who spend time with Mr. Nawaz Sharif, who work directly for him, shouldn't they be paid from party funds?
They are also being paid from party funds.
Then why are they being paid at all by the Punjab government? I really, it's not a huge issue. Okay, I'm not saying that there are billions involved here, but there is an ethical
the thing is,
lapse.
Quatrina, yes, you can raise ethical questions, but again, the kind of the word corruption that comes in, that you are looting public money, is simply not there. It's just not there. 3.5 years of Shehbaz's government in Punjab, and not a single penny.
Isn't this public money which is being paid to these 4 gentlemen and others that I can name? Isn't this public money, sir?
But
if this is public money, the amount is irrelevant.
All
the
I'm
fact
saying
is that money, whether it is a penny or a billion, is being looted, is being misused.
The exchequer of the government of Punjab for that purpose, and let's calculate it, whatever it is there. I think I'll clarify the issue with getting more information, but please have a sense of proportion on this, that yes, these people are being paid.
Let's move on from
this. It is public knowledge. It's been published many times, and the Chief Minister does have certain discretions when it comes to hiring people, which he has used, but the fact is, again I repeat, the Punjab public exchequer has not been looted in any way by Mr. Shehbaz Sharif.
Okay, Mr. Khurram Dastagir, I will just leave it at the fact that this is something perhaps that your party should look into, since these people work for Mr. Nawaz Sharif and not Shehbaz Sharif. Shehbaz Sharif is the Chief Minister. He has the right to have a DGPR possibly pay for his media publicity or whatever, but maybe this is something your party should look into now that it's been pointed out to you. Let's go on over now to Karachi, and Ms. Farooqi, I'm sorry we lost you earlier, there was a little bit of a disconnect. One of the really important issues over here is that there are 2 political parties now, Pakistan Muslim League N, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. They are both giving you very strong warnings. My concern here is, on a larger framework, do you worry about, as a member of the ruling party of Pakistan, a polarization in Pakistani politics?
Quatrina, absolutely. I think everybody has a right to enter politics, and I think Imran Khan has been into politics for the last 15 years. PML-N has a different style of politics altogether. But coming to the threats and warnings, I don't understand why they want to give us warnings and threats, and why they want to give us deadlines and timelines. I think Mr. Hassan, sitting here with quite a few pieces of paper in his hand, does not need to contest Tehreek-e-Insaf's case on witness with Quatrina. If he has any evidence whatsoever against the corruption of Mr. Nawaz Sharif or Mr. Asif Zardari or so on and so forth, I think he should approach the independent judiciary immediately without missing any more moments. And I think just standing there at the rally and just giving timelines and just giving veiled threats is not sufficient enough. Their jubilations have yet to translate into electoral victory. I mean, this is just not sufficient enough by saying, you know, we will do this, this, this. How are you going to do this? We all talk about this, that we are going to eradicate corruption. I mean, People's Party talks about it, PML-N talks about it, MKM talks about it, ANP talks about it. Now Mr. Imran Khan is talking about what's new. We all talk about the sovereignty of Pakistan.
If I may answer your question. What's new, Ms. Farooqi, when you ask that question? To me, as a neutral observer, it's very simple. People are turning out at these rallies because they're upset, and I think that the government would ignore these rallies at its peril.
Quatrina, does Mr. Khan has an agenda, has a roadmap by giving employment in every house in Pakistan? I would like to know that. Does Mr. Khan has an agenda and a roadmap to eradicate corruption from Pakistan altogether? I would want to know that. look, just merely rhetorics will not get them anywhere. I am happy they had a very nice rally in Lahore. It was impressive. But as I said earlier, this has yet to translate into electoral victory, and they have to wait for that time.
That's what
by merely abusing
abusing
Nawaz Sharif or Asif Zardari is not going to get them anywhere. They need to give the people of Pakistan a new roadmap. And one thing that goes in Mr. Khan's favor is that he's never been tried. I mean, they've contested 3 by-elections and they have failed. I want to know the candidates that they're going to put forward. I mean, that is
we all do, but they don't need to declare any of that, Ms. Farooqi. It's time for me to take a break. So I'm going to have to stop right here. Mr. Khurram Dastagir, I know you're trying to say something. So after the break, I'll return straight to you. But it's time for us to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Witness. We are, of course, talking about the rally fever that engulfed Pakistan over the weekend and what its impact is going to be on the political landscape. Let's go straight now to Gujranwala, where I'm joined by Mr. Khurram Dastagir Khan of the Pakistan Muslim League N. Mr. Dastagir, you were trying to say something before the break, but let me belt you with a question and you can respond to both at the same time. One of the main questions, of course, is that your leader, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, went on a diatribe against President Zardari, against the court array, made some aggressive statement, demanded resignation, said there would be every square in Pakistan would turn into Tahrir Square, but no particular agenda or timeline given by the PML-N about what comes next. Everybody is wondering what the PML-N has up its sleeve. So what's next for the country to look at now?
We are just going to continue our Go Zardari Go campaign because essentially, as I said earlier, Mr. Zardari has now become a hurdle towards a peaceful, progressive, prosperous Pakistan. Because currently his government, his party's government, has plunged Pakistan into the darkness, not only an actual darkness of load shedding, but a virtual darkness of inflation, extraordinary debt burden, the foreign policy which is being conducted through secret letters to the US saying, save my government, and I'll change the national security team. I think these compromises, this, I think, incessant corruption, this bad administration has plunged this country into darkness, and we want to express.
Mr. Dastagir, I have to ask you a very critical question here. Okay, now all these charges that are leveled by you, by your party colleagues, by Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, these are all allegations, number one, because they have yet to go to court, they have yet to be proved. The PPP has a point. Nobody has been able to pin down the Pakistan People's Party. Now, but my question here, very significantly, what should we, the people of Pakistan, be expecting now? Because you don't have the ability to remove this government through parliamentary process. Are we looking at street protest, at street agitation? What exactly does the PML-N have in mind? Because it's frankly, it's troubling all of us. We don't know which direction this country is going in.
This country is heading towards protests in Parliament and outside Parliament. Because essentially, you might say it's allegation, but it is a fact that more than 150 plus engines of Pakistan Railway are seized. They have stopped working. Trains have stopped working because this government is simply mismanaging the resources of this country. It's a fact that a quarter of PIA's fleet is non-operational. It's just standing there because this government has mismanaged PIA.
Three PIA planes are on the ground at the moment.
At the moment, but there was a time, I think if you remember, just last week it happened in Dubai, that 2 PIA planes were refused refueling because they said you pay us money and then we will refuel you. And things like that have happened, and these are facts. These are facts that when Pakistan Steel, this government came in, Pakistan Steel was $8 billion in the black, and now it's $30 billion in the red.
Is your party willing to go to court? Because I know Khaja Asif, who's an MNA from the Pakistan Muslim League N, has joined into the Supreme Court petition against the rental power projects. Are there any other court cases that the PML-N is planning to file cases about any of these things?
Yes, precisely. I think these issues that Mr. Shehbaz Sharif mentioned in his speech have not received that kind of attention. He did mention Pakistan Railway, he did mention PIA, he did mention Pakistan Steel, he did mention PEPCO, and all these institutions of Pakistan, which are now hurting not only Pakistan economically, but also hurting Pakistan's future because it is currently being mortgaged by this country. I think figure just came out that this government, in this financial year, has been printing $2.5 billion rupees a day in this fiscal year since July 1st, 2011. So this government is simply bankrupting the country and endangering the future of Pakistan's youth. And this is what we are going to express inside Parliament and outside Parliament. And let me just say, I think a very interesting point was raised by the fact that what kind of candidates I think the Tehreek-e-Insaf is going to put. We are getting some taste of it in Gujranwala, because the people who have joined Tehreek-e-Insaf in my constituency was a person who contested against me on Q League ticket in 2008, and in the neighbouring constituency a person who was for 5 years in Pervez Musharraf's cabinet, in the Q cabinet for 5 years, has now joined PTI.
I want to return to PML-N and Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf.
Are joining that party are do not
I want to return to this. I want to return to PTI and PML-N, but quickly let me first go to Sharmila Farooqi and get her reaction to this. Ms. Farooqi, Khurram Dastagir basically is charging your government with corruption, and more than that, ineptitude. Ineptitude in the form of the fact that Pakistan Steel, Pakistan Railways, PIA are all suffering tremendous losses. Consistent demands over the past 2 or 3 years that these state-owned enterprises are hemorrhaging money, that they should be put under better management, but your government hasn't really acted on that. Why is that?
And the debt burden, Quatrina, that is very...
Mr. Khurram Dastagir has charged the Pakistan People's Party with everything under the sun. Well, I would like to ask Mr. Dastagir, have they been able to make Punjab an exemplary model province as far as governance is concerned, law and order is concerned, and so many other things?
Thin on me now, because I hear this from every
No, if we are going to,
I want to hear about what you have done.
If we are going, I think what Mr. Dastagir has just stated is also something that you've been hearing from every single PML-N person who comes to your show and to other shows. The question is that what have they been able to do in Punjab? I want to know, have they been able to make Punjab a model province? If they have, yes, then they have the right to govern all of Pakistan. They must come to the National Assembly. They must move for a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister. They must move for the impeachment of President Zardari. If they can't do that, merely holding certain rallies and jalsas in Punjab, in Lahore, in Gujranwala, in Faisalabad is not going to get them anywhere. They would rather concentrate on giving better services to the people of Punjab. See, that is my question. And if they have any allegations whatsoever,
I will answer Ms. Farooqi's question if she answers me. Where are they dumping the $2.5 billion rupees that they have been printing every single day this fiscal year? I will answer the question if she answers this question. Because the issue is these are not allegations.
Ms. Farooqi, I have a specific question. Mr. Dastagir, I hear you.
PIA is going down the drain.
Mr. Dastagir, I hear you. Ms. Farooqi, I have a specific question. If you believe that the Pakistan Muslim League N has not, can we go one by one, please?
There's too much noise.
Okay, can you hear me now, Ms. Farooqi? The question is that the PML-N is within its right to make whatever charges it likes, obviously because they're an opposition party. My question to you is very specific. The points that are being raised by different people, are they even of concern to your government, or is the People's Party simply not interested in listening to criticism anymore? That's important. Is the People's Party willing to reassess possible mistakes? I mean, or are you saying that your government is perfect?
No, absolutely not, Quatrina. We are humans, we can make mistakes. But what my question to Mr. Dastagir is that yes, they have the right to criticize. I agree that railway has been a dismal disappointment. PIA, of course, is not doing well either. But do they have a plan?
But what are you doing about PIA, Pakistan Steel and Railways?
Well, as far as my knowledge goes, we have a national plan of action, and there has been certain restructuring of these public sector enterprises. A lot more needs to be done, I agree to that. But just merely writing off the entire Pakistan People's Party government is just not fair. As opposition party, the largest opposition party in Pakistan, they must come forward with an agenda, with a plan that yes, you are not doing this, we will come and do this. Let them give a roadmap. And I think we have always, the Prime Minister has always been very open to positive criticism and positive suggestions. But merely saying that, President Zardari is a burden on Pakistan, Prime Minister Gilani is a dismal failure, I think that just does not work anymore. I mean, they need to come up with proper roadmap.
Just now you said nothing, it's not fair. I just wanted to remind you that nothing is fair in love, war, and it seems now politics. Mr. Raoof Hassan. Exactly. Mr. Raoof Hassan, this is a real question over here.
I would definitely like to respond to both of them. Can
I just ask my question first?
Yeah, please do.
It seems to me that the agenda, or rather the goal of your party, the Pakistan Muslim League N, is the same. So
no, not really.
Not really.
No, not really.
Okay, tell us how they're different.
They are agitating to remove President Zardari. And People's Party government. We are agitating to bring about a change of system, which is going to affect both the parties. We feel that both of them are equally corrupt. So it is not just the removal of Mr. Zardari.
How do you want to change the system?
We want to change the system. Once we come into power, we want to remove these. Like, for example, Khan Sahib was very specific. He said we want to change the Thana culture. We want to change the Patwari culture. We want to, embrace our brothers in Balochistan. We want to bring an end to this war and terror. All these things which have been bleeding Pakistan, which have brought Pakistan to the verge of collapse.
Please, Mr. Khurram Dastagir and Ms. Farooqi, hold your thought. Mr. Hassan, I really have a critical question over here. This is very idealistic, okay? And my question to you is Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf grounded in realpolitik? I mean, political realities in Pakistan can't change overnight. You know that, I know that, everyone knows that. It's good to be idealistic, but where is the grounding in realpolitik?
Look, Khan, if you trace Khan Sahab's history, basically, look at what he achieved in cricket. That was his idealism. Nobody could have bet on Pakistan after it lost about 4 matches in the preliminary stages. And yet Pakistan, let me explain. Let me go on, basically. When he started off to construct, to have Shaukat Khanum on ground, nobody gave him even 1% chance. He went on and he constructed it. Not only constructed it, set it up. It's possibly one of the best hospitals in this part of the world.
I have to respond to this.
I'll come to you, Mr. Dastagir. Let Mr. Hassan finish.
Look, his foray into education. Namal University. Again, he has done it. So whatever he has taken on and whatever he has promised to do, he has delivered.
These are small projects.
Right.
Restructuring entrenched political cultures, Mr. Hassan, is very different.
You may be right there, but the fact is that he started off and he's committed to delivering it. And he's got a good team of people, and more good people are joining the party. So I think by the time we reach the elections, we will have a wonderful party structure at the grassroots level as well as people to fight the elections. But I must respond to these.
I have a question for Mr. Hassan.
You have a question for Mr. Hassan? Yes, Ms. Farooqi? Okay.
Well, I just want to know that Mr. Khan, of course, does not have any houses or cars or assets, and he keeps on begging for charity, for hospital, and for all kinds of things. So how was this expensive rally funded? Who funded this rally? It was a very expensive rally, let me tell you. I mean, it's just not a few thousands of rupees that this rally was conducted in. So,
good point.
Ms. Farooqi, Mr. Khurram Dastagir,
I would invite Ms. Farooqi to accompany Imran Khan when he goes next for raising funds for PTI from the common people of this country. I am extending an official invitation on behalf of the party to you.
Who paid for the music system?
I'm extending an official invitation from the party to you.
Mr. Hassan has come with a lot of papers.
And you are quite welcome to join our team when we go for the next fundraising session.
I don't need to.
I extend to you an official
if you will allow me, I think I'll ask the question now. First of all, again, as I said immediately earlier,
on the show, Mr. Hassan,
if Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospital is going to be claimed as a personal political credit, then credit must go to Government of Punjab, which provided the land and the first 200 million rupees, including then an additional 3.5 million rupees that Mr. Sharif gave personally. That has to be credited and acknowledged. I think that was the second thing is, even more crucial. Quatrina, let me finish, then you can respond. The second thing is, in the last 3.5 years, the only opportunity that there was credited that a real political change can happen the night of 15th and 16th of March, the night of restoration of judiciary, PTI and its leaders simply were not there. They absconded, and it was Mr. Sharif who stepped out and got the judges restored.
That is absolutely incorrect.
I mean, where were they? Where were they hiding on that night?
If we go one by one, it will be easier for our viewers to understand. Mr. Hassan, please respond.
I must respond. This is an absolutely incorrect statement. I must say this. You know, Mr. Khan, everybody knew where he was, and he was going to join the rally, but Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz hijacked the rally after it received a telephone call.
I mean, Mr. Sharif stepped out of his house, thousands of people joined him, and by the time they reached my city of Gujranwala, the judges were restored. Where was Tariq Insaf? I mean,
you were not supposed to abort the rally.
There was an opportunity to bring real political change, lasting political change. You were simply not there. You were missing in action. Nobody could see you. I think if you take out all the footage, nowhere is PTI to be seen anywhere in that scenario. It was Mr. Sharif who stepped out of his house, came on the streets of Lahore and got the judiciary restored, which is one lasting political change this country has seen in the last 3.5 years.
Okay, Mr. Dastagir, my next question is to you. I'm beginning to feel that the PML-N is sort of tilting at windmills. I don't know if I should rename your leaders Don Quixotes because they're tilting at windmills over here. Your natural allies are the ones you're alienating. Why is that?
No, it's simply that we would really like that the issue remains what Mr. Sharif highlighted in that rally in Lahore on the 28th. That the issues are inflation, the issues are load shedding, the issue is this government grievously wrong policy on war on terror, the issue is this government's inaptitude and corruption and bad administration, and this issue of that the lives and well-being of the people of Pakistan are endangered while this government is in power. I think it's not an allegation, it's a fact. So many thousands have died, so many thousands have become jobless, and that is the issue that we are going to agitate if certain political parties like PTI want to have the same agenda. They are welcome to have it. It's a free country.
Time over here.
I must respond to this
I want
thing.
to balance some time here. Mr. Raoof Hassan, briefly.
Just very briefly, you know, the commitment of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz to an independent judiciary has already been exposed by WikiLeaks. When they were planning to come out on the streets, their incumbent Chief Minister Punjab, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, was at the American Consul General's place in Lahore and negotiating with her how to strangulate the judiciary post-independence. This has come out, number one. Number two, in WikiLeaks. Number two,
which I should explain to you is the American ambassador's perspective of
right.
her
Number one.
conversation.
Number two, they came out on the streets only when their government was removed in Punjab. They did not step out on the streets before that. It was because they had been affected, because they wanted to come back into power, they wanted to use and manipulate the judiciary to their advantage, that they came out on the streets. Number three, PTI workers were part of the rally. Imran was supposed to join the rally once they came to Islamabad. The rally was aborted midway. And everyone knows why was it aborted midway.
It was aborted because the purpose was achieved. Judiciary was restored. And look at who, in the end, no matter WikiLeaks or no WikiLeaks, the people of Pakistan saw who was out on the streets for restoration of judiciary. And let me also remind Mr. Hassan that Pakistan Muslim League-N was the only political party whose candidates for National Assembly and Provincial Assembly across the country gathered in Lahore 2 weeks before the election and gave a solemn pledge that if we are elected, we will restore the judiciary, and we did that.
Yes.
We had that
before
achievement
before I go to Karachi,
Almighty and the help of the people of Pakistan.
Okay, one more question. One more question over here, Mr. Raoof Hassan. This question is to you. If the Punjab government had wanted, they could have made the holding of that rally in Lahore yesterday difficult, if not impossible. I am told, Mr. Imran Khan said it on air, we all heard it, that he heard reports that the cable television had been shut off in parts of Lahore.
Yes.
But was your rally allowed to go ahead without impediments being placed in its way?
Not at all. First of all, this letter that was issued to us by the Office of the District Coordination Officer in Lahore. And at number 2, it says, no speeches against constitutional officers, armed forces, judiciary shall be uttered.
That's a law. That's a law.
What did Mr. Shahbaz Sharif do?
Oh, good point.
Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, our people who wanted to come to the Jalsa, they were impeded at every possible corner. Like, for example, the GT road from Gujranwala to Lahore was blocked at many.
I'll tell
you, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
They were. But because of the sheer number of people who were coming into the arena, they just could not do it. It is not that they did not intend to or they did not make an effort to. It was simply because they were not able to stop them. Okay. It was a mammoth. It was a mammoth. The crowd was absolutely mammoth. It was almost touching a million.
Mr. Khurram Dastagir, I won't get into the. I will ask you, of course, that this letter that was issued.
This personal security of PTI chief. It was government of Punjab.
Okay, my question is
we never wrote to the government of Punjab to provide any security. If you have any paper with us, though it was not provided.
It was not provided.
It was not provided.
Imran Khan had no security.
No security.
We are doing our duty to protect and make everything possible.
We were, your team was not in touch with PTI. We were not in touch with the government of Punjab. We handled everything at our own end.
Okay. Before the, one of the points that I would like to make over here simply, again, as an observer, is that I personally would welcome every political leader in this country getting the full protection of the state and the governments in their respective provinces, whether asked for or not. Because the last thing we need is another security crisis with any of our political leaders, any one of them.
It's true.
So again, if the Tehreek-e-Insaf did not ask for protection, but the PML-N gave it, good. That's all I'm going to say on the subject. Ms. Farooqi, I will come to you now with a very, very critical point. The Pakistan People's Party is right now very strong when it comes to numbers in Parliament. But what are the plans of your party? Because obviously, the reaction to Shehbaz Sharif's rally on the 28th, we could see that there was a visible sort of shaken up kind of situation within the People's Party. How are you planning to deal with these protests, and what is going to be the People's Party's line on this?
Quatrina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Ms. Farooqi, I can hear you. Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Quatrina, I can hardly hear you, but I think your question to me was what are our plans for the future with regard to these rallies and these protests. Well, I think we believe in the political process, and I think all these parties who are getting very impatient, the Nawaz League, who wants to come into absolute power, the Tehreek-e-Insaf, which boycotted the last general election, they have to wait for the election time to come. And I think it's just around the corner, around a year and a half later. So I think they're all trying to build up a momentum. They need to give their agendas, they need to give their roadmaps, and I think they need to wait for the right time for the elections at the scheduled time and then realize their dreams, because if their rhetorics and their rallies do not translate into electoral victory, I think everything is in futile. And my last question still remains unanswered, and that is to Mr. Hassan, that who funded this expensive rally? And wherever Mr. Hassan is ready, I'm willing to hear it. I have
extended a formal invitation to you to accompany our team when they go on a fundraising mission. You are most welcome. If you want, we can even buy you a ticket.
Does that
you will see people contributing to our cause. Let me assure you, none of this, not even a penny of this is looted money from the government exchequer.
That now it is very clear that the fundraising for Shaukat Khanum Hospital and the fundraising for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf have to be separated. It's a very clear ethical guideline, and I think after having been lectured on ethics by Mr. Hassan, it is something that he should be fully implementing.
Just a minute, everybody's
fundraising for Shaukat Khanum Hospital, which is a charity enterprise, should be separate from what is this political entity PTI funding fundraising.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there because I've run out of time. Everybody's made their points. Now it only remains for me to wrap up what I have assessed out of here talking to all the three political parties that were represented here today. First of all, I would like to thank my guest, Mr. Raoof Hassan from the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, who joined me here in the Islamabad studio. I would like to thank Engineer Khurram Dastagir Khan from the Pakistan Muslim League N, who joined me by video link from Gujranwala. And I would like to thank Sharmila Farooqi, who joined me from Karachi by video link. Thank you all for participating in today's program. The real issue now remains is that there has definitely been a change in Pakistani politics. We saw that change. It was visible. Nobody expected Imran Khan to make the kind of show that put up the show that he did. He did it. Whether that's going to translate, we don't know. Many of us were willing to write off Imran Khan as a political entity, but I think those perceptions changed yesterday in Lahore. Having said that, that doesn't change the face of electoral Pakistan. Electoral Pakistan, very correctly as Sharmila Farooqi pointed out, will be tested when people go to vote. Their PML-N at this point has thrown down the gauntlet, and it remains to be seen how they are going to carry their protest forward. The only thing that I can tell you over here right now is we will keep an eye on it for all our viewers. We will be telling you what happens day to day here, right here at Witness. Quatrina saying Khuda Hafiz from Islamabad.